1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Know Your Substance podcast. I have my guest right here, Orlando from All Needs Security, man. Talk to the people. How you feeling today?
Thank you, Tristan, for having me. Appreciate you. All Needs, T-Pills, work together 3 years now. Met over there at Cedar. Shout out Freddie putting us together. Ever since, we've been rocking. See him practically every weekend now.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's crazy how far we've came, man, from the business and just, the nightclub scene and, just everybody, really, especially, everybody that works for you and stuff, staying close and all that.
I feel like we know a lot of the same people, It's like everyone's like either, Orlando, you need T-Pills, Not even just that, but, even the promotion side of it, if an artist, when I'm working with an artist and they need a DJ, first person I think about is T-Pills, Make sure, you get your name out there and then I get my name out there, so,
Yeah, for real. We just kind of have to feed each other, off the connections and stuff. I mean, it's all part of the community, we're all from the Central Valley, man. We all got to stay close, help each other out. If somebody needs a job and wants, I always think of you, and then vice versa, like you said.
Yeah, and especially, you always got to make sure if somebody comes up to me, I know you're bringing in the quality, so you're not going to make me look bad, and I'm not going to make you look bad at the end of the day. That's how it should work,
Yeah, and it goes to trust, especially in the entertainment business, one bad night could screw everybody's bag up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then that's one of the things is you got to make sure everything's always on point, especially you never know who's going to hit you, you never know who's going to DM you, and it's Coachella hits me up, first person I'm going to think is, go T-Pills, brings out the vibe with anybody.
Yeah, and that's one thing you notice when you see other people's, come up is, a lot of the people in their circle, if it's artists or producers or any type of, management, security, they all started together, you know what I mean? They all referenced each other, That's why you see a lot of artists from the same area blow up together,
Yeah, and that's the same thing. It's we're from Modesto, we're a smaller town, A lot of talent comes from us because that's the way we are, Everyone wants to put each other on. No one's greedy out here. Yeah, somebody's going to take a stepping stone and achieve something more, but they're always going to forget who puts the person on,
Yeah, man, you got to pay homage to the roots and stuff. Because we have, we got a lot of things going on out here, man. It's just, it's a smaller community, you know what I mean? You go to the Bay, you go to LA or any, Atlanta, New York, there's a foundational entertainment industries out there and other ways and stuff. So, for what we have out here, man, I feel like we do a good job, you know what I mean? Downtown's pretty fun. There's some places that don't have any freaking downtown life.
And I feel like we're all connected as well. If you go to each different club, you're always going to run into somebody from high school or, somebody else that to compete. Not even compete. What's the word I'm trying to say? You're always going to find somebody
Yeah.
And if you go to the Bay, it's a whole bunch of strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot harder to, network. It's a lot harder to have a one-on-one. Even it's let me buy you a drink, It's a lot harder. Out there, you go to a big city, you don't know anybody.
Yeah. And, there's pros and cons to everything, you know what I mean, and to both. So, when I go to the city, man, I like meeting new people and stuff. But when I go out downtown, man, it's a reunion. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of new faces downtown nowadays because, as we get older, the newer, younger 21, 22-year-olds are coming into the scene and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see, how downtown has changed in just a few years,
Yeah, it makes me feel old, too. It's talking to my dad, my mom. They used to go to Palladium, and it's sometimes when I get booked over there, it's dude, my parents used to get a babysitter to come to this place, and then now I'm working at this place. It makes you think, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember one time I picked my mom up from, speakeasies,
Yeah.
And, now I'm, going to speakeasies. It's just, full circle moment.
Or when people are talking, and they'll be like, oh, do you remember the Fat Cat? Or you remember Aqua? And you're just no, I don't.
Yeah.
So it makes you think, oh, yeah, times are really changing, but it makes you think that new generation is gonna come in and they're gonna enjoy what we enjoy every weekend,
Yeah, if anything, it's probably better than when we first turned 21. I don't know. Downtown's has way more stuff. So when I turned 21, it was 2018. The only places you could really go were Palladium. Mimosas wasn't there. No, it was called Santa Silo at first.
Yeah, and then it was called like City Night or like high school nights.
Yeah, though that was in high school.
Yeah.
They stopped doing that as soon as I got into. No, actually, no, they didn't stop. But they stopped at Santa Silo, or Mimosas, or the Vault, like that place.
Yeah.
They started doing it at some place in the Cuts on Carver Road. That was the craziest thing. If you all went to high school night, you're verified, man. If you went to high school night and out here, you verified, man.
You legit out here.
You really know what's happening. You know how to have a good time. Yeah, man. Did you ever go to those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember even when I was young, like younger, going with my dad to drop off my older brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, those are crazy times. But yeah, man, when I first turned 21, it was only Santa Silo, Palladium, and then just the bars like Fox, Speaks, Trisetti's, Blades and Bottles was there before it turned into Retro, which is now 1012. Lo-Fi was around, actually. That was a bar. And then, obviously, Boardroom. I can't really think of anything else at the moment, but those are pretty much the main ones in downtown. Now we have the Vault, now we have Spotlight, and now we have 1012, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like it's growing and it's making something look forward to, you know. Friday night, you got nothing to do. You call your boys, be like, hey, you want to meet up? It's like, where are you going to meet up? Well, there's endless opportunity, you know?
Yeah, bro. Some towns don't have anything. Like, even in Turlock, the only place you're really going to go to is either the Utter place or that one bar.
La Cantina.
La Cantina, or what is the dive bar? I can't even think of it.
Staley's.
Staley's, yeah, Staley's. That's pretty much it. And other bars, I'm sure, sports bars or whatever.
Yeah, shout out to Crew, you know, throwback.
Yeah, man, shout out to Crew, man. They were holding it down for the nightlife for a cool minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that was a place to be, you know?
Yeah.
Ever since that incident, I feel like, you know, it kind of hits me because it's like, you know, you lose a fellow, you know, bouncer, so now makes you think, it's like, makes you think different, you know?
Yeah, you definitely got to move certain ways, and because people be sensitive, you know what I mean? Like,
and I feel like once alcohol's involved, it's like everyone's gonna be up here. Everyone feels like they Floyd Mayweather. They feel, you know, and that's the scary part about it.
yeah, bro, people think they unstoppable, and then motherfuckers got guns and shit, so it's just not even cool. It's just crazy, bro. The nightlife, I don't know. I feel like it's always kind of been the same, like, you know, people doing stuff like that, getting crazy and stuff, but, you know, with social media and stuff, it just makes it more you know, it gets communicated more, you know?
Yeah.
With what's going on when incidents like that, you know, especially when somebody passes that everybody knew, you know?
Yeah, and as well, like, I feel like that's what's cool about Modesto, that everybody knows each other, so there's always going to have somebody there that has your back.
Yeah, straight up, bro. Honestly, like, I think we have a really good community out here.
Because you can be honest, like, you can tell when somebody's from out of town.
Yeah.
Like, if it's Spotlight, if it goes to the Fox, if it's 1012, you know those people aren't from here just because there's that vibe that Modesto has that not a lot of people come with.
No. And a lot of people, I mean, bro, there's a lot of cities around here that people, this is like going to the Bay or San Francisco, you know what I mean?
We get a lot of people from like Merced, Livingston, Delhi, Turlock.
Even Oakdale and Escalon and then Gunnison, like, you know what I mean? Newman.
Yeah, I feel like Modesto's like the Bay Area to us, you know?
Yeah, bro. It definitely has its own, because even like Stockton has its own like things going on out there, but I don't feel like a lot of people really party out there because it's just a different vibe.
Yeah, it's a lot different vibe. You know, we run security out there at by Mimosas, Mimosa Social House over there in Stockton. It's a little different. A lot of people say that it's, you know, shiesty out there, but I just think it's a presence, you know? Everyone got to come in, really depending on the vibe of the night. But
yeah,
Stockton's a different story, but if you know how to work it, you'll get home safe.
Yeah, straight up. Like, I remember when I first started playing, shout out DJ Gatsby, he had me pull up to a sports bar. I can't even remember what it was called. It was the Hype Bar and Grill. And, bro, that was a vibe. It was lit. It was cracking in there. I was like, oh, Stockton is lit, bro. It was cool. A lot of cool people, you know what I mean? And, like, from the outside looking in, like, you might be a little judgmental, but, like, once you're in there, bro, it's all vibes. everyone's just trying to have a good time, bro. No, ain't nobody really trying to funk like that. Everybody sees bad things on social media and they project that into their own like uncertainties, you know, and then they just make assumptions that they're gonna get hurt and stuff, and it stops them from having a good time, you know.
Yeah, same thing is like, you know, just to piggyback on what you said, it's like, for instance, like mimosas out there in Stockton, you see everybody. You see all the cultures. You see, you know, everyone's on the dance floor, from the hyphy music to the cumbias to the Mexican music.
Yeah.
Everyone's there having a good time. You know, maybe at 2 a.m. when we close, everybody's outside. That's when people start getting rowdy. But once inside, like a lot of people just have that main goal. Have fun, talk to people, and enjoy the night.
Yeah, for sure. So, how long have you been running All Needs?
We've been going to 3.5 years now.
Oh, okay. And what was the first business that you supplied a service to for security?
So I'll tell you how I started off. So I've been in security. I've been doing hospital security for. My grandma got sick. You know, we took her to Emmanuel, and I seen the security desk, and I was like, you know what? I need a new job. I was a meat cutter at the time. So I was just like, you know what? I asked. They hired me. The next day I came in for an interview, got hired. So I did security for like a year. And then shout out to Mike from the Fox. He texted me. You know, we knew each other, you know, family and stuff like that. He texted me. He was like, hey, you want to bounce? And I was like, you know, I'm down. I don't got nothing to do. So I just thought it was going to be Friday and Saturday, and then I was just going to, you know, but he texted me. He's like, hey, we'll put you on payroll. Whoop-de-woo. We got on that, and then a lot of people came up to me, and they're like, hey, you do weddings, you do quinces, you do this. So I saw an opportunity, went online, looked up all my paperwork, what I had to do to accomplish it, and then that's how it came to be. But, like, back to the question, the main first one that gave me an opportunity was a Fox Pub in 1012 in Modesto.
Hell yeah, man. Shout out to the Fox Pub. Shout out to 1012, man. I think that was one of the first places I seen you or met you was at the Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Fox, man. The Fox has always been, like, the central hub of, like, the community in Modesto. Like, if you want to have a little high school reunion, you're going to go to the Fox. You know what I mean? You're going to see somebody you know.
But at the same time, it's like if you want to pregame and you want to pregame with a good crowd, start the night off right, you go to the Fox Pub.
Yeah, especially with the bartender. Shout out to Mike and JoJo, man.
Yeah, Fox will always hold a place in my heart no matter what.
Yeah, I think Fox is like one of the places I really played downtown. And that was before like the pandemic and stuff. It was like 2019. They did like a Halloween party, and then yeah, man. I think who threw that? I think it was Social Hour or something.
Yeah,
something. I forgot what her name was. Brittany. She put it on and she connected all of us. I think Spook was there, me, and then her brother DJ K.
It was upstairs, huh?
Yeah,
yeah.
That was a good time, man. That was a vibe.
And I feel like there at the Fox Pub too, it's like if I'm just there watching the game and I look over, like we're gonna have that conversation.
Yeah.
And it's gonna lead up to more. You know, you're always networking from clothing brands to, you know, if you need any shoes, you know, cosmetics, whatever it is, you're always going to find it at the Fox. You know, if you need a plug for something, go to the Fox Pub in Modesto.
Yeah, bro. It's all about, you know, making connections and finding places to be social to start that connection, you know?
Yeah, because, like, me, I'm not really a social person. Like, you know, sometimes I can't even order a pizza on myself. You know, I'll have my lady do it. But it's like when it comes to business, I'm really out there. And, you know, my family tells me, like, you're very social when it comes to business, but outside of business, like, you don't even talk sometimes, so.
Yeah, it's that motivating factor. Like, me growing up, bro, I was not very social. I get shy, you know what I mean? I was like, you know, I played football. I was a beast in football, you know what I mean? Because I just had to hustle, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't have to talk about it. But, like, you know, as I got older, I started, you know, in high school. No, in junior high is probably when I really started getting more social. Because you kind of had to in junior high. If you wanted to kind of, like, not get, like, bullied and, like, messed with, you know, you had to be social. You had to tap in and make connections. Because once you start knowing the right people and, like, all that, like, ain't nobody going to mess with you, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like, standing up for yourself, too. But, like, you know, you were friends with somebody, you know what I mean? Safer route. And then in high school, you start partying. Shit, man.
I remember those days, you know. I don't really drink like that, but,
Yeah.
you know, growing up, it's like, you know, I have an older brother. You know, he knows people, I know people, and it's like, oh, you know, shout out my friend Wyatt, you know, senior sundown or whatever.
Uh-huh.
You know, his parents got him a brand new truck. Let's go to this party. You know, and that's when it's like, oh, yeah, you know, partying is different.
Bro, that changes the game, especially when you're young, bro. Me, I wasn't a big drinker when I was younger like that, you know, and we don't condone underage drinking and none of that, but this is just like real life experiences and stuff that shaped me, at least, kind of led me into what I do now, being a part of the cultural aspect of parties and stuff, you know, especially like when you're young and you go to these parties and they're playing the Bay Area music, because this is like probably like 2014, you know what I mean? Like music was so different then. And there's so much music from 10 years ago that was still being slapped, you know. And like, that's that cultural aspect of being in a function, being part of the people, meeting different people, man. It's pretty, you know, it's exciting as a youngin', you know what I mean? So that's one thing that, like, kept me going to the parties and stuff is the opportunity just to meet people and connect people. And even to this day, bro, some of the closest people I know I met at those parties in the middle of nowhere or in the cut, you know.
Back in, like, the jerking and shuffling days. I know you remember that.
Bro, I had an 8th grade party. Shout out my dad for letting me have this, bro. But, like, these kids we were in 8th grade. And these guys from they were in high school. I forgot who they were. They pulled up and just started jerking and stuff to the new boys. And that was, like, the craziest thing. Like,
it's a crazy era for sure, you know, looking back. And it's like, when I work at clubs and you see somebody that's freshly 21 coming in, seeing the lights, you know, the packed crowds.
Yeah.
Makes you think, like, yeah, you've never been to a high school party like we used to, you know?
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I was talking about it with the guys the other day. Like, what else are we really going to do out here? You know what I mean? Like, wasn't really a lot of spots for, like, teenagers to hang out. You know what I mean? And experience that cultural aspect. You know what I mean? Sure, the bowling alley. Sure, like, you know, all the other things that are public. But, like, they get the cultural aspect of, like, the Bay Area music, you know. Like, if you went to a party in high school and had a DJ, bro, that was probably the most lit party. That made the difference between just a party and a function.
Or when people, like, they'll be like, cops are here, cops. And everybody, you don't even know what to do because you're hecka young.
Yeah.
So it's like, that a little bit of adrenaline rush is kind of...
Oh, yeah, bro. The adrenaline rush is crazy. Especially when people are, like, jumping fences and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And it's like you have to clear out. And it's like, wait, do I call my mom? Or do I not, you know? It's like, I got no ride. So you're just like, hey, where you going? Where you going next? It's like, it's an experience for sure.
One time we walked from a function over on, like, Floyd Avenue and Rose Avenue. Like, that was the area. Walked from all the way over there to Tully and, like, Roseburg. By MJC, pretty much.
Yeah, we were just here local, so we were just... There used to be parties over there by Walmart. We used to see a lot of people jump the fence to go to the Walmart parking lot just because they got, like, raided or whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, it was like 2 a.m., you know?
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. We were wilding, bro. Like,
but it's crazy to think now it's like we just took that aspect and take it to the clubs, you know? Because, like, back to the scenery of Modesto. Modesto's like, if you're on the dance floor and you see somebody dancing, you're going to match that same hype, you know?
Yeah.
No one's ever just there, like, starting trouble. Like, if you see a group of people dancing, I've noticed a lot of people be like, oh, come dance with us. From guys to girls, you know?
Yeah.
They keep it respectful. Everybody's here to have a good time, and they know that, especially Modesto, compared to, like, the Bay. Like, you go to, you know, Frisco, you got to be on your toes, you know? So...
Yeah, a lot of opportunities. It sucks when you go to a club or a setting and there's people in the corner, like, looking for opportunity to sell you something or do something else, you know what I mean?
Like pickpocket, I've seen that all.
Oh, yeah, know? For sure.
The club is packed, you know, tip for you guys, never keep a phone in your hand or in your back pocket. Always keep it in the front from your wallet. If you have a little side bag, don't wear it towards the back, wear it towards the front because I've seen it all, you know?
Yeah, bro. It's easy. I have a lot of friends that have gotten their phones took, their wallets, you know. A lot of girls, too. Just because you're a girl don't mean you safe. Like, it's anybody.
Yeah, same thing. Like, if you ever feel unsafe in the club, there's always opportunity from, like, the club bouncer to the bartender. Don't get yourself in situations where you feel unsafe. The club is to have a good time. It's like a lot of people, we get off of work, we work, Monday through Friday. 5 o'clock hits, you want to put on a nice fresh fit, go out to dinner, and go to the club. Why? Because we had a stressful week. You don't know what people are going on at home, or, you never know. People just go to escape reality sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes, how often do you see, like, people bringing their problems from home to the club?
I see it a lot, especially, like, if your female's mad at you, like, why are you going to go to the club to talk to another female when you guys can just make up, get ready together, and then go to the club together,
Yeah, you be seeing everything, huh?
I seen it all. I seen people get stabbed, shot, break up, cheating, all that.
Well, you got any crazy stories you'd like to share?
I have a lot,
Or just one of them?
It's one of them that always,
Just first one that you can think of. Doesn't have to be hella crazy.
I still remember we were working one time. It was me and my boys. We were out there in Stockton. We kicked some dude out. Just, hey, bro, you're too intoxicated. Any threat when it comes to the club, you got to take it serious. Dude comes up, goes to the parking lot. You see him go to the car. He's reaching in his pants. Whoop-de-woo. Knocks on the door because we close the doors at a certain time. The barrel was right there, right in my face. And it makes you think, like, what happened if he did pull it, And it's a fight or flight reaction, I make sure all my guys are well trained for any scenarios, but at night he felt disrespected, came back, grabbed the gun. Fortunately, we were fast enough to react, but it's one of those things that makes you think, like, bro, I could have lost my life tonight.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are putting your life on line for other people too,
And I always tell everybody, it's like 30-second mistake is gonna cost you your life. It's not worth it. That's why I'd rather swoop to your level to know that I'm there for you, not against you. If anybody goes to any of the clubs that all my guys are in, you're always gonna feel safe. You're always gonna feel the environment compared to other clubs from different cities, maybe even clubs in the town that you go. It always starts at the door,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I don't condone no physical altercations in the club. If you really have a problem with somebody and you really have to do it, step it outside. Do it in the parking lot. Do it away from the property, because some people are there just to have fun.
Yeah, and that goes down to respect, If you're pulling up, thinking, like, these people, you don't care about these people and stuff, and you're just going to disrespect them by having making it an awkward time, bringing bad vibes and stuff, like, there's a lot of people like that, And unfortunately, in your business, like, you guys have to deal with those people.
Yeah, and it's like, it goes back to, like, the situations. It's like, you think about a lot of the people, they're having a hard day at work, or whatever they're going on in life. So they go to the club, they get, their Balenciaga stepped on or their Jordan stepped on, and it's like, dude, I'm over it. It's time, And it makes you think, like, anything can be preventable.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, fellas, like, if you're getting your shoes stepped on in the club, like, take a step back. Like, you ain't got to start beef over that. Like, yeah, it's annoying, don't get me wrong, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're in a crowd of people. And
honestly, same. It's like not throwing anything to anybody or anything. Feel some type of way. But always respect people in the club. From females, if she says no, it's a no.
Yeah.
Don't get touchy. Don't get anything like that. My guys are well trained to make eye contact with the individual. Because when alcohol takes over, one little mistake can land you in jail for a long time. And we don't want that. We want to make sure you get home next day. We want to see you back at the club when we open,
Yeah, and you got to protect and look out for the women, too, because there's a lot of weirdos out there, bro, that just don't get anything. They don't get nothing, so they're just weird. Don't be that guy in the club.
Yeah, like he said, don't be that guy. Make sure if she says no, keep it pushing. There's multiple women out there.
Yeah, try again in a different way. Check your energy, bro. You know what I mean? Because I always tell my boys and just some of my girlfriends, I'm like, one of the most motivating factors for men is why they go to the club. Probably they're trying to get some. Like at the end of the day, what's the best thing that can happen tonight at the club?
You're gonna go home with the girl.
Yeah. That's best case scenario? You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of people think like that. You know, me, I go for the vibes and all that stuff. I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? But like, best case scenario. You know what I mean? And then so when guys go with that mindset, that's what they're looking for. And then they get aggressive, and then they get weird, and then they get upset because they ain't getting none, and they, you know what I mean? And then it turns into more problems eventually. You know what I mean?
And also like,
and then every weekend they just ain't getting none.
And also like an advice to the men out there, like, don't mess with women that have boyfriends.
No.
Like, respect that. You know, if she's entertaining it, that's different. But no, I've seen a lot of people relationship ruin, and I feel like people think that's like a trophy and that's, you know, a good thing. But don't mess with somebody's relationship at the club. One night is not gonna turn out well for you, you know?
Yeah, don't pride yourself on being a homewrecker.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I got this girl to mess with her boyfriend, this and that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, bro, and you know, likelihood she probably doing that with other people too.
Yeah, because
like, don't pride yourself over it. Don't, like, that's not something that you should take on with your ego. Like, humble yourself, you know?
Because I feel like it's like a snowball effect. Like, you don't know what he's going through. You know, his girl just left him at the club, and it goes back to like the mindset that they're in. You know, you
Yeah.
get to take that so hard, and then now that person's not with us over that little incident. You know?
Yeah, bro. It could, yeah, any incident. You know, it's just something innocent like that and turns into someone's life.
Yeah, and it just
Yeah. And how many people that are innocent in the situations like that get hurt or killed, you know what I mean? That aren't even part of the situation.
same thing. It's like, you know, we don't condone no drinking and driving. You know, I seen a lot of people will try taking the keys, be like, hey, sit down, and then they'll start trying to fight us. But it's like, I gotta make sure you get home safe. What a lot of people don't understand is like, when we're a dick at the end of the night to give you water or to hang tight to wait for your Uber, it's just because we care.
Yeah.
You know?
Or kicking you out because it's over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of people get mad at us for kicking you out or whatever. It's like, but the business is paying us. They have to hold a license. If ABC or anybody comes in
And it's
they
already
see a
past
crowd,
due?
who do you think we're going to get fined? We're going to get fined. The club's going to get fined. And we don't want that.
No, man. It's a business at the end of the day. Respect it, you know?
It's like the same. It's like they're inviting people to their house. And if you want that same respect, you got to keep it.
So, yeah, man, you know, the nightclub life it can be a lot of fun, but can be really crazy, too, at the same time. So, just to end on that note, like, you know, if y'all are going to the club, man, have good intentions. Be there to create experiences and memories, you know, not regrets, you know. Because it's easy to, you know, if your mind ain't right and you go into the club to escape, don't drink too much because, you know, you never know what's going to happen once you get, like, vulnerable in that state and your body is intoxicated, you know what I mean? Because other people can get hurt.
Yeah, same thing. It's like if we cut you off or we kick you out and we tell you to sit outside for a reason, it's because we're looking out for you. We're not here to be dicks or anything. We got your back. We know you're going through something. We know the vibe. We know what we're doing. We're professionals at what we do.
Yeah, man. So that's like, you know, that aspect of what you do and the services, you know, a lot of people probably see, you know, when bad things happen. But, you know, I don't think a lot of people really understand, like, what it is at the end of the day, like the core aspect of it, you know, like what leads to the bad nights, you know, people funking over something, you know.
Yeah, and it's back to that topic. It's like a lot of people, they come up to me when they're mad or when we're kicking them out. They let the alcohol talk, and they go back to my favorite one is, oh, you make $10. Oh, you're a club bouncer. Oh, you're top flight security. And it's like, at the end of the day, I just got to make sure you're home safe because I don't want something to come back and haunt you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just have to look at them with that compassion, no matter if they're being an asshole or not, you know?
Yeah, like I tell all my guys at the end of the night, whatever happened in the club stays in the club. You go home. If you fucked up, if a fight broke out, or you feel like you didn't do enough, leave that.
Yeah.
Go home, sleep. It's a new day.
Yeah, because it's not easy being a mediator. either. You know what I mean?
It's not. Somebody's gonna be bigger than you. Somebody's gonna be stronger than you. You just gotta know how to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, de-escalation, man. That's crazy.
That's always, if you know if something's gonna happen or you feel the tension, take it outside. Like always, if you want, like they say, you want to do a friendly fade, tell the bouncer you're going outside. If it don't get too physical, if me and you have an issue, we'll squabble it out. I'll buy you a drink right after.
Yeah.
A lot of people just want that. They want that validation that they did something.
Yeah, that's that ego. Shit, man. Well, hey, that's one aspect of the 9. What about the business aspect of that? What was it like getting started? All that other stuff that comes with being a business owner, balancing it with your day job.
Yeah, it's really hard just because a lot of people don't see the back end of a business. A lot of people think like being the CEO, being like, the owner of things, it's easy. They think you're gonna get hella bread right off the bat, but realistically, when you run a business, you're not going to see profit. If you're doing it well and legally, you're not going to see it within 2 to 3 years of financial stability unless, you're up there, you're marketing, you're doing this, you're pushing that. It's like, it's going to take time. And it's one of those things I advise everybody. If you want to start a business, from a small business to a hobby, if you want to turn your hobby into a business, make sure you're ready for it. Because if you're tired of working a 9 to 5, you're going to be working 24 hours. So it's a lot difficult, from sleepless nights, from getting the right paperwork, from being legit, from, even finding an investor. If you want to start something and you don't have the money up front, but it's going to hit, just do it.
Yeah, man. And be confident in it, too. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do it 100. Do it 110. Because it's like, you don't want to, if you're going to do it right, and there is no right way to do it, but, putting your best in is the right way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I'd rather have a business that failed than not having a business at all, because everything is a learning experience. So now if it failed, what to do better on the next run.
Yeah, man. Even with what I do, you know what I mean? Whether it's I'm playing music, DJing, making connections, doing content creation, music production, engineering, like I'm constantly trying to find new ways to make everything work and stuff. You know what I mean? Like constantly trying to make, more opportunities for myself, and also not ruin opportunities, or let them go by. You know what I mean?
And that goes back to my topic, in the sense of sometimes, like for me, I'll tell you straight up, sometimes I've given a lot of like free events because I got to get my name out there.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to give something out. Like, for instance, you with your clothing brand, if you give out a free hoodie to an artist and then they can be seen wearing it, that's more promotion for you.
Yeah.
The money's going to come back. When you start a business, don't look at the money up front, because the money will come if you're doing it with love and passion. If you want it just strictly for the money, it's not ready. You're not ready for that.
Yeah, I think the number one part in starting a business is building your community first. You know what I mean? And finding ways to keep that community in communication and just in collaboration. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing I appreciate about All Need Security, is that you guys connect well with the community and everybody. You guys have a bunch of familiar faces. You know what I mean? And it makes everybody feel comfortable.
Yeah, same thing. It's like, I feel like once you see my logo, you know what we stand for. It goes back to a lot of people. It might be a company, it might be a protection group, but in our aspect, we're a family. We have a lot of guys that, shout out to all the ooses, you hire one, you hire the whole family. And it's in the sense, if something does happen, something tragic does happen, your guys will always be there. A lot of people, a lot of companies, they'll hire whoever it is, but when it comes down to a fight or a situation, a lot of people are like, I'm just here for the paycheck. And if you hire the right person, they're gonna get there. They're gonna be with you for the long run, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Do you familiar with what a personality hire is?
Nah.
So a personality hire is like you get hired because your personality like fits well with the work environment. You might not be able to do the job the best. You could, but like you got hired because they can get the job done and mesh well with the rest of the people. What is your opinion on personality hires?
Yeah, no, now that I know what it is, that's usually what I do. Is because you might not be the biggest, you might not be the strongest, but if you have a mouthpiece on you and you can de-escalate, like back to the topic, it's like I structure my team in a group. I have the leader, I have the one that's ready to have everybody's back. You know, if it gets to be physical, I have somebody that's ready for that. Everyone has a key point. A smart man told me one time that when you build a business, especially in the industry that I'm in, you got to build a table. You got to provide the 4 structures. If your table only has 3 legs, the table's going to crumble. So everyone has to be on that same page, and everyone brings something unique to the table to make that table stand up.
I like that. Yeah, you definitely got to have a foundation, man. Foundation in anything in life, bro. In your own personal life, in business, in your jobs. Like, if you don't have those 4 legs, yeah, you're going to crumble.
Yeah, like security now, especially for like club security and like event security. You know, back then it'd be the meatheads. You know, dudes all steroid out, this and that. Now it's different. We're in a state where someone can go to the car, grab a gun, and shoot up the whole place. So it's like, what are we gonna do in that situation? You know?
Yeah, it don't matter how buff and big you are.
You got to be ready for everything. The way I set my team, we're all structured, family orientated, and it goes back to the business side of it. It's like a lot of people don't see me staying up 3, 4 in the morning for an event that I got coming and trying to piece every single piece of the puzzle. They just think I send whoever to whatever job. No, everything is well structured.
Yeah, man. Especially when you're doing events and stuff, man, you really got to do a lot of communication with different parts, whether it's vendors, artists, sound, the venue. There's a whole lot of communication going on, man. It's a tough job, man. Having your own business, you know, you got to do everything and learn it at the same time, you know.
You got to be learning day to day, as well as you got to make sure the business side of it is up to date with it too, you know. It's like if a new policy or new rule comes up, you got to make sure you know it, because in any of the situations, you don't want to get caught lacking, you know. You want to make sure everything's up to date. It's hard. Running a business is hard. A lot of people think it's easy. A lot of people think they can do it. And I'm pretty sure you can. You just got to be well dedicated to it.
And be willing to make mistakes. You know, you're going to fall down, but it just matters about how you get up, you know. Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I played football.
Yeah, man. And if you played football, you already know up downs, bro. You get down, you get back up.
Yeah, and it's like the same thing. If you feel like you're going to get up, your support system's going to help you get up.
Yeah, that's why it's good to have a team. It's always important to have a team, man, or having a kind of a social network of people that are willing to delegate for you, you know, depending on how you communicate and negotiate that, you know.
And it's like same thing with like the business aspect. I feel like, you know, too, it's like we got to have uniforms, we got to have certain pants or whatever. It's like you got to go out there and get your supplier. I got to go out there, make sure my guys are big, so it's like I got to have a supplier that has a 3, 4, 5 X's, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things a lot of people don't see. You know, we got to drive to LA and get a wholesale instead of going on Amazon and spending $400 or $500 on 6 shirts.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a lot of things people don't see.
Yeah, and building connections with those, you know, people, you know, that are providing the clothing and stuff, so you can keep that wholesale relationship, you know. And
you got to make sure your staff is always happy. You know, that's another thing. It's like whenever you have a business, like we'll take it to a little bit of my personal life, you know. It's like I'm to the point where I can't go on a dinner date with my lady, or we can't go on vacation because I'm constantly on my phone. My lady, we were talking about it earlier this morning. She says that she's proud of me because yesterday I wasn't really on my phone when we were on dinner, you know. And our dinners are kind of timed because I got to be at the club or I got to be at an event at a certain time, you know. There's some days that I don't see my family. I don't see my nephew. I don't see my mom. Sometimes I don't even see my lady until we get to the venue, you know? And it's one of those things a lot of people, they don't see that. They don't see that, you know, I'll be driving to my venue, everything's 100%, and an inconvenience like a call-off happens. So now in the back of your mind, like, everything just, you got to start all over. And I feel like that's just for everything, you know? It's like if you're having a photo shoot for your company and you forget something, it's like, dude, now I got to start all over.
Oh, yeah, especially in live sound or DJing. Like, you forget one cable, one adapter, man, you got to either go home. And if it ain't home, like what are you going to do, bro? Like, you know, there's so many situations that can happen where it's that, like, I'm fucked moment, you know?
Yeah.
It's just however you adapt and figure it out. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned as, you know, being a business owner and, you know, doing events and trying to keep everything together. It's like you really have to be prepared for anything, because if you aren't, like, then you're going to be screwed. And if you're not, and if you are prepared, you got to be willing to adapt at the same time, because, you know, I don't know how many times, bro, like, I'm not missing this cable. All right, now, so now we have to do things this way. All right, now we got to do things this way. All right, I need to call this person. Oh, I got to do this. You know what? Or, like, you know what? Since we won't have this, we're going to have this. Like, being able to adapt in those moments of urgency is crazy. And I've learned that in the restaurant industry when I was, you know, working as a busser and stuff. You know, something happens, a table breaks, whatever. Like, you just got to figure it out, bro. And that just, like, separates, you know, those that would just fall over and quit, you know?
Yeah, you got to be really strong-minded when it comes to running a business. Like, advice to anybody out there trying to start a business is just do it. Don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to fail. Everyone, don't let social media fool you. Don't let all the big names, all the big brands with factories, with suppliers, this, and that fool you. Everyone's at the bottom. Like, for instance, look at Jeff Bezos starting the garage, Disney, Apple. Everyone has a vision. You just have to grind towards it. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be ups and downs. But at the end of the day, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Just start all over.
Yeah, if you were to do it all over again, to start fresh with your business, what would be your advice to somebody that's going to start now?
Like in the security sense or in general?
Security sense or just in business in general. It's however you want to put it. You could do security.
I'll go in general. I will. Don't try to, you know, the quote, my goal was to eat, so now I'm full and the plate's full. It's don't fill up your plate until you know you're ready. And if I were to start all over, I'll take small bites, because I made the mistake of taking bars or taking contracts that I wasn't ready for, and now I put more stress on myself. So that's honestly what, it's funny you said that, because right now we're in the rebuilding stage. I kind of want to clean my slate and just start all over, because now I learned mentally, physically, on what to look for. I can't just hire anybody, you know? I can't just take any contract. Just because they show me some dollars or some, you know, a good amount of paychecks, sometimes it's not worth it. So now you got to sit back and restart and rethink what you want to do. And in a business aspect of it, you got to be ready for all that.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. I like the plate analogy, you know, because sometimes when you start, you know, sometimes it bubbles really quickly, and you take it all on, and once you take it all on, after a while, you start to be like, fuck, I can't keep up, you know, and I mean, you could adapt to that, but I like that analogy, you know.
But it's also the sense of, like, everybody wants to eat at your dinner table, and when you have people eating and people are happy, are those people going to be there when the food runs down?
Yeah.
Like they say, like the pictures on social media, is like, you got to be ready to eat alone, and you got to be ready to be the last one to eat. Because a lot of people out here are money hungry. A lot of people want to do what you're doing, but they don't have the courage to do it. So they're trying to feed off of you or take what you have. And that goes back to the sense of, like, never be comfortable in your own space. You might be making profit, you might be going up there from selling shirts, from whatever it is. Never let down, and always know why you started it.
Yeah, that last thing you said, always remember why you started. I think that's the main thing that keeps me going, remembering why I started, what motivated me. Because it's like, I told myself at that moment when I started, like, I'm not going to quit. You know, we're going to do this, we're going to invest, you know, you're not going to quit. You know what I mean? And it's like, you got to hold that to yourself, you know?
It's like we were talking off camera, like, I was about to quit last night. Why? Because of the call-offs, because of this, because of that. And thankfully, I have that support system of, you know, my lady, my friends, like, even, you know, off camera when you told me, like, just don't do it, don't quit. You got things going for yourself in the back of your head, you know. You always got to lift up one another, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You know, even I probably once a week, bro, I always think, like, do I really want to keep doing this? And it's like, well, we made it this far. It's quicker, it's easier to keep going forward than turn around. You know what I mean? Because we know how far we came, but we really don't know how much more farther we need to go in front of us.
And it's also back to the thing when people say, you know, I got my foot on the gas, I want to get to it now, I want to get to the money, to the fame, to this, to that. It's like, realistically, if we're using that analogy, sometimes you got to let off that gas. Why? Car runs out of gas, or your body's just exhausted to drive.
Yeah, so you're going to crash out.
Don't be afraid to slow down. Don't be afraid to look out the window and take everything in, because I've had moments, like, I'll tell you straight up, I've had moments where I was going to quit. The next day, we're in Fresno, and your artist is performing, you know, thousands of people in the crowd, and you just look and you're like, dude, I made it. But
yeah, those are good moments. Those are the moments that really will fill you up for another few months, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
keep you going.
Keeps pushing it. Same thing was, like, back to, like, starting this business. I've met a lot of great people. For you, instance, you know, like Izzy from 1012, A-Team, all them, Johnny from, you know, Aceto's manager, from all the artists that I've worked for, you know, you always have that connection.
Yeah, man, well said. Yeah, you got to appreciate the moments where it's like a milestone moment, you know. I think last year I had a few of those, and I was just kind of like, wow, like, this is cool, you know what I mean? Like, let's keep going, you know? And then after a while it fades off, and you kind of forget about those moments because you have so many experiences that are happening, and it's happening fast, and it's almost every weekend, you know what I mean? So kind of like the milestones, like, you really got to hold on to those as motivation, because it's easy to kind of, like, you know, have a bad weekend and you're just kind of like, oh, man. But then you remember those milestones, and those add to your foundation, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, for instance, like, for today, I have Stupid Young, the rapper. You know, after this, I got to go get ready and all that stuff. It's like, I grew up with my brother, because when my grandma was getting sick, we would have to drive to Delano, and that's all we would play. You know, it was a bond that connects, and it makes you think, like, dude, me and my brother drove to a negative part in our life to now them contacting me knowing, like, hey, when we're out there, we got to book with him because he's the man to go to. And it makes you think, like, all this hard work is going to pay off.
Yeah, then those are another milestone moment. So you're like, all right, this is what we want to do.
Yup.
You know, if I were to give advice to anybody, if I was to do everything all over again, and what I originally started doing was just rapping, being an artist. That was the first thing that started me in this. But what started me wanting to be a business owner and stuff was probably, like, being the music production side of it. Man, if I were to do it all over again and start over, I'd probably just focus on a routine. Finding a routine and building community. And then that routine, implement practice, implement strategies and education. And then, obviously, content creation. And just start there. And just find a schedule. And just every weekend, every week, have something for people. And build that community and feed them. And keep it simple. You know? Like, you're going to feed them beats. Give them, you know. And then eventually branch out, you know?
Yeah, because you got to be reliable. Like, for instance, in your sake, like, I see a lot of... you're reoccurring, for instance, like, you're always at 10-12, or you're at that brewery because they know you provide the quality, you provide that you're reliable to them. They don't mind paying that money because they know that you're gonna bring people, you're gonna expose and give exposure to their establishment.
Yeah, straight up, man. You know, building your value is super important. And once you get that like routine and consistency and all that, and you are reliable and you build that value, when you build that value, you know, people are more reliable, or you become more reliable. So I would definitely just, you know, build your value and find ways to show it.
Yeah, most definitely. And same thing is like, don't never give up. Back to the overall thing of it, it's like, just because you're in a different industry doesn't mean the hustle's not the same.
No, bro. Or the trials and errors, you know?
Yup, like the sleep. Like, for instance, and another thing, it's like, if anybody's going to clip anything or post on social media, make sure you post this. You always support one another. Don't be asking for handouts. Don't be asking for anything. Like, if my boy Tristan comes out, sorry I said your government.
No, you good.
If somebody says you're, you know, hey, I'm selling a clothing brand, support it. The same way you support famous people that don't even know you exist, support your homie, because when he's up there, he's one of those people they're not going to forget about you.
Yeah, man, it's always important if you are starting out too. Find out ways that you can help. You know, like you said, you were doing a few things in the beginning just to get your name out. Be willing to be of service to others, you know, because that will come back to you, and that builds your value because you have something to show, you know.
And it's like, for instance, a lot of us, like, during the Christmas season, a lot of people do the toy drives, and they, you know, publicize it, and this, and that. And it's like, me and my lady, we give back to the foster care system, you know. Her mom was a foster mom, so we try to get all the supplies because a lot of people, they want to give back to the little ones, you know, to the less fortunate, which I get. But in reality, you got the next generation, you know. If you go, you know, that's even the basics like deodorant, headphones, school supplies, just to give them that motivation of like, hey, you're going to do it. And it's like, I don't publicize it. I don't go and, hey, watch me, about to go give back. You know? I do this, you know, from the bottom because of the love, because, you know, the community. Same thing. It's like, if anybody's out there watching that needs, like, you know, you have a stalker, you need personal protection, and you don't have the funds to do it right now, give us a call. We'll work with anybody, any budget. Anything we keep safe, and you know, if your crazy baby daddy's after you and you feel uncomfortable, you feel unsafe when going grocery shopping, give us a call. We're 24/7 company. We're always ready for anything. We've seen it all. We've done it all. Don't hesitate.
Yeah, all needs, man. Keep the community safe.
We have to, and it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, a lot of people ask me, like, why don't you just become a cop? It's like, it's different. It's a different environment. You know, I can do whatever I want to do as a business owner, as a CEO. But at the same time, it's like, you got to make a change little by little, you know. And it's like, same thing for you. Like, what's going on right now in LA? You know, a lot of, you know, all our local, like Stanislaus, Merced, Los Baños, all of them got on their trucks and dipped, you know, because we're greater than one another, you know?
Yeah, man. It is really amazing to see how California has rallied in general to help out, you know what I mean? A lot of people are, you know, it's crazy. People posting the videos from downtown LA and they just seeing the fires on the mountains. It's like unreal. You know, it's so close to downtown and so close to, you know, so many people we know.
Like Universal, all that stuff.
Yeah, bro.
Like, you know,
I mean, it's LA, bro. That's like one of the biggest cities in the United States. You know, one of the most historical cities. And
in the way, it's like it's hated, but at the same time, LA has love. You know, LA can put you on for a lot of, you know, for us starting off. You know, if I want to go to, you know, meet with a famous person or just get my name out there, you know, streetwear for you, you know, or producing.
That's where the industry is.
And it's like, sometimes, like, you got to make that jump. Like, my goal for this year is to go live in LA or go live in Vegas just to get my name out there.
Yeah, straight up. Hell yeah. So that being said, man, what do you feel like is next for you? after, not after, but what do you feel like you have looking forward to or trying to get more into? Because you're always expanding your business and stuff and everything that you do.
So then we got 2 things coming up right now. You guys can look forward to. I'm probably gonna go independent. I'm probably just gonna stick to straight executive protection. Focusing on that. Still have my guys, still have my crew, but just take that step forward because I know if I make it, they're gonna make it. And then the same thing. Me and my lady, we want to start up a bagel coffee shop, something for the community. Our goal is a bigger picture in the sense of like every Sunday, feed the homeless, discount on college students, a place where kids can come do their homework without being pressured.
Yeah.
So that look forward to that. Starting up, you got to build off the business that you already have.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool, man. So getting more into working with the more artists and focusing on that type of personal security.
Yeah, more just strictly. I've done it all. I feel like I'm at the point in my life where in my business that I've accomplished my goals. I can mark off on my calendar. So now it's like the beginning of the year, I sat there and thought about like what's the next goals. It's like I accomplished it. Now I got to go and reach the stars,
Yeah, I feel that, bro. That's sick. Yeah, you gotta find new things to accomplish, for sure.
Because even if it's like security doesn't work out for me or anything like that, you always have to build different revenue,
Yeah.
Because I have a 9 to 5. I still work at 9. I'm a receptionist at Sutter Health. So it's like a lot of people don't know that. It's like, receptionist during the day and then a bouncer at night. And it's like two different aspects of it.
Yeah, for sure. Sick, man. Well, thank you for your time. Anything you want to tell the people before we head out?
You can find us on Instagram at allneeds_security. Any type, any events, personal, executive, anything. Go give us a call. Shoot me a DM. Make sure you follow my boy Tristan. Book him. Buy his clothing. One thing. If you're going to start a business, do it. You won't regret it.
You won't, man. Be ready for the long ride.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, bro. We out. Welcome to the substance, man. Welcome to the substance. So what's up with the substance, man? I know you hurt and filled with chemical, man. So what's up with the substance, man? This new sun's being knocked in your fans.